The night that the ATF busted. Her daddy was a hustler, so she loved him. Looked at the jury, how can they judge him? She screamed.
Hey everybody, this is your girl Liberator Lola Barber, and who are you, sir?
I am Haywood Barber, also known as the second half of the
HayLo Effect.
Yeah.
And we are here with you with our scandal recap. Opened up with, actually, y'all, I gotta tell you, this is our second time doing this.
Second take.
We have had some computer issues, and we may have some more, but I think I know better now, so I'll just keep talking. But this is a scandal recap. Last night, we had Scandal. We watched it. We love Kerry Washington and all them other people we don't know the name of. And
Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison's cutie pie. Yeah, so we enjoyed the show. You guys are opened up with Common's Testify. The name of last night's episode was A Snake in the Garden, and definitely in Common's song Testify, the sister is a snake in the garden. So I figured that was pretty cool to open up with. But we are going to talk about this thing and see what you guys thought. I'm just going to open up. I said this before. I'm going to say it again. I said it in the last one, but y'all won't hear that. I think they just kind of starting to make people be kind of careless.
I would almost say, would you careless or normal?
Well, not normal for them though. I mean, they supposed to be. Well, they supposed to be like super duper. I was, Haywood and I were talking about whether or not they're starting to let them appear to be more fallible, more human, less superhero-ish than they have been in the past. I mean, because Olivia got somebody looking at her and surveillance, and she don't know that. Huck let Shorty Quinn mess up and get caught taking the CIA chief's clothes out the cleaners. I mean, Scandal, we don't make them kind of mistakes. That crew does not make those kind of mistakes. So, I just feel like they're showing their vulnerabilities a little bit more than they have been.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, this show is starting to layer itself with a lot of different mysteries, almost like the show that was on about 10 years ago called Lost. I don't know if you remember that show, but
yeah.
This show, of course, the dynamics is more based and oriented into the politics side, but it's got a lot of mystery. It's got a lot of the United States flow, because we know that the CIA and the FBI have always had their rivalry.
Yeah.
And they're showing a little bit of that right now by going, who's watching who. I mean, I'm sure that the writers had a tough time trying to figure out what they were going to name this show. I mean, even though it was Snakes in the Garden, but I mean, who's watching who, I mean, and this week it's funny though, they came away from the heavy, hot, steamy, sexual side.
Oh yeah,
show,
the only slightly sexual thing was Jake's kiss to what's her face, but outside of that was it. Right. Didn't have but that's good because they need to take a break. I mean, because one of the things that I mean they do. Well, one of the things I missed the whole season of Private Practice, another Shonda Rhimes production, and when I finally got a chance to watch Private Practice, I watched them all back to back, and I was a little bit overwhelmed by the sexual content in her show. I mentioned this last show. She likes that. She got a rich. She almost can be kind of like Zayn, like I'm thinking, because she's a little off the hook now. It's TV friendly for nowadays. God knows if my grandparents saw some of the stuff that they show on TV, they would be like, my grandfather would say, "Good God Almighty," because he would not be able. He thought the soap operas was too hot for television.
Wow.
So, yeah, he would not be able to handle it. But she does a lot of sex, and so I'm glad that she's toning down off of that just a little bit, because we can talk about, think about, be about other stuff besides that. Although I know sex sells.
And sex does sell. I mean, and it has been selling for a long time. And America has stayed away from sex. I mean, some of this stuff in the BBC or the European television market, it wouldn't be no big deal. I mean, they would have to come up with strong content. And I think that they have twisted away into strong content. I think content rules. I think content is ruling now. And, so she proved that she can come away from the hot sex and go with some strong content. I think I think that this show proved it. This episode proved it.
Well, one of the things that I found to be that I found to be odd in the show. I won't say odd, but one of the things. Well, okay, one thing was I was trying to figure out, and this is what I was saying to you, Haywood. When did the deception with Jake, whoever that man was he met at the end of the show, where did that start? Okay, they found out about the flash drive that had all the information on it. Then Olivia, that's how they found out. Well, they thought they found out that the chief was the mole, right? So they printed out that information, gave it to Jake. Olivia gave it to Jake, then Jake gave it to the president. He didn't give him the name of who the mole was, but he gave him the information about the hostages.
Right.
And so they found the hostages. Okay, so that same flash drive, Jake goes in, steals out of Olivia's house, downloads the information to his thing, prints that stuff out, and then takes that to the president.
Right.
And then takes that to the president. And to say that the CIA guy was the mole. Well, we know at the end of the show, and if you didn't watch it, stop listening right now. At the end of the show, we find out that this dude is not the mole, because it's been shown to us that Jake offed him and made it sound like a suicide.
Yeah, it was a serious setup. And this is where, as I mentioned, that it has a whole lot of mystery to it, and it's just like the show Lost, and it held our attention. I mean, the whole country was held in suspense on this show, and no one ever knew what the mystery was on the island. And we never, I don't.
Talking about Lost.
Yeah, we're talking about Lost now. But I'm saying in this show now, we're seeing some loose ends tie up when it comes to the different mysteries of Jake and the black guy sitting on.
We're not saying it tied up. We're saying this seems like this message get even crazier.
No. And that's why did I say
you
tied
said we're
up?
seeing it tied up.
And I'm sorry. Then I mean stay loose.
Yeah.
The mystery is still
unraveling more and more.
I mean the mystery is just big, because I mean we don't know, and unless you and I missed an episode, and you guys out there, and I see some people trying to text in, and I know we're having a little technical difficulty tonight with our internet, but come in if you know, if you bring in the information, bring us the intel, if you've seen where the black guy came in at, and you've seen or where he's tied in at with Jake and this whole thing where...
Yeah, like is he the head of the FBI? Like the other dude was the head of the CIA. Like, who is this guy?
Right.
And why is he meeting with Jake at the end saying, did you take care of it?
And really, why did they really get rid of him on the real tip? Because come on. I mean, if you think about the whole scenario with Huck and... Quinn going to the dry cleaners, getting the dry cleaning, seeing the big stack of money, and then saying, oh no, we don't want him to know, take the money back, take the dry cleaning back with the money so that he won't know. Well, who was playing him?
No, and why were they dumb enough to think the cleaners was the drop? So if the cleaners was the drop, then they had something to do with putting the money in there. So if you go in there and you collect his clothing, then they know you're not the person who's supposed to be collecting his clothing. So of course they're gonna tell.
Right, and they let him actually. Right, they let them take the clothing with her just giving
set it up.
Yeah, saying that's for my husband.
Right, so they because he remember when the CIA guy came back in there and he said, yeah, well, who was it? And he didn't look like a cleaners dude no more. He looked like somebody came. She came. Who was it? And then he showed them the recording of who it was. So and then Huck and Quinn, they got made with the money, but then they didn't realize they was made until they was almost on top of them, and that allowed them to get in the house and get where Olivia was and up in her face. It just just the notion that Olivia's being watched by somebody and she doesn't know. But what that brings into question is, why did the feed, what he was watching, the video feed that he had from her apartment go zap right when she started to have a conversation with that dude? What is that about?
Or was it, a CIA, intrusion on her feed?
Him. For him. Maybe it was moving.
They put a block on any and everything coming into her house just because they know.
Was there, right.
Right. They know how powerful she is, and they know that probably the FBI is out, watching her, keeping tabs on her, because they keeping tabs on her. Or, right, like you said, they put a dead silence.
Right.
On the house.
So nobody could hear anything because he was in there and he was having conversation. That's probably, that kind of seemed like what it was.
Or is it possible that the writing team had a faux pas? Is it possible?
What do you mean?
Is it possible, but that they had a misstep, that they didn't even keep up with the speed of the show, and maybe they had a misstep in the way they portrayed the whole thing with the CIA director.
Oh, from the beginning. Oh, so you mean like did it switch up in the middle or at the end? Did they say, oh, let's backtrack this?
Or let's fix it. Or maybe the audience won't realize the connect or the disconnect.
Get the hell out of here. As long as we watch this show, us and the whole world, I call myself, you guys, if you didn't listen to last week's show, I refer to myself affectionately as a scandalaholic or a scandal maniac.
Yeah.
Because I don't miss this show. I don't miss it at all. I don't miss this show not one little bit. Hey, was going to have to leave us here in a couple of minutes, and so we're going to do a quick show today, our recap. We didn't have to drag it out forever, but the question I want to pose to you is, hey, who's the black dude at the end of the show? Number one. Number two, is Fitz going to realize that he's a drunk and following his father's footsteps?
Ha.
Ha ha.
Nice. I mean, nice the way Nelly, of the nemesis of the show. Melly?
Yeah.
Not Nelly?
No, Melly.
Melly? Wow. Hey y'all, it's Melly, not Nelly. But let me tell you, isn't that funny how she, the person that most watchers are probably saying that they don't like her the most,
I
right?
can't stand Melly.
I know, but
it was horrible to hear Melly telling him all of that. It was true.
But she had to give him the bittersweet pill, and let's see if he swallows or if he spits it out and say, who the hell cares? Like, some people do. Right?
When you confront them.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good show. It was a good show for sure.
Done. Nice speed.
Wasn't too fast. My mom says the show is too fast and it moves too quickly for her. But I mean, most of the time I can catch up with it. Just a little thrown off about some things that have recently happened, but I think that they will all come together. Want to find out why people are, well, they say that the CIA guy was ransacking David's apartment, but now David is sleeping at Olivia's office. So, he's going through some things, most definitely. But
that's a nice little piece that they kind of left undone, too. Who was it that actually ran through his office? You wasn't sure if it was a girl's shoes or a guy's shoes, right? Do we know exactly who that was?
Well, no, but they said that I think, Burnson or Corbin or something. I can't remember what they said the CIA guy's name was. But whatever his name was, they're saying that he had somebody ransack David's house looking for that flash drive.
That
because
we now know.
He did right. He had somebody looking for it.
And we know that Olivia has it.
Well, yeah, but Jake took the contents of it, but Olivia definitely has it. So
I bet you she's taping too. I bet you they gotta write into the show that she is aware of. I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't. You don't think they'll touch it? That she actually puts a nanny cam in the house and see who.
I can't imagine why she wouldn't. Somebody who's as powerful as she is with as many different connections and who knows people are always watching her because she's always watching everybody. Why in the world wouldn't she have a camera at some level surveilling the inside of her house? I mean, but damn, she must never watch it. Because she still don't know that Jake is. But maybe she does know. Maybe that's going to be the joke at the end. I knew all the time. I was just playing you. So when okay, think about this, though. As love with Fitz as she is, when he kissed her and he said, you still thinking about Fitz? She said, no. That couldn't have been true. Just from one kiss, just like that. So maybe she is playing him to a certain extent. But I guess we won't find that out till like the last episode or something for the finale for the season, of which I have no idea when it is. But I'm sure it's coming up soon.
We're in the top side of spring, even though it doesn't feel like it.
No, it's cold. I mean, but it's warming up. It'll be even warmer tomorrow. We want to thank you guys for joining us for the scandal recap. We're gonna do it quick today, like I said, because Mr. Barber has something that he needs to go and do. He's going to hang out with one of his boys, so we're gonna do it quick today and just kind of keep it moving. And we hope you enjoyed the scandal recap, and we hope that you watch again and listen to us again next Friday, because we will be tuning in and doing it again for you. It's a great show, man. I think I might start doing something on Grey's Anatomy too. I don't know. Might see. Who knows? But they're going to do, Haywood I know is going to do something on Touch. So y'all listen out for that. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to be part of that or not. I think he kicked me to the curb. But anyway, y'all have a great day. This has been your girl, Liberated Lola Barber, and
Haywood Barber from the Haywood Barber Show, also known as what?
What?
Harlem
Heretic. And we are the HayLo Effect together. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a great Friday. Enjoy yourself.
All night, wondering if he's alive. Seeing him drive, she bubbled inside his scream. The judge yelled for order, court reporter making her words shorter. His lawyer sat next to him. She could see how the trial was affecting him. It hurt for her.